Turkey. This is the star of the show. So I'm thinking this has to be the star of the NFL for the next 10 years. Maybe this is controversial, but I'm not picking Patty Mahomes. I'm not picking Justin Herbert. I'm going Josh Allen. I think he's the guy.
Yes, me too!
Ignore the past 2 weeks. Ignore the past two losses and all the turnovers. This is the guy. He's getting the Bills out of the Super Bowl drought. This is who I'm rooting for. I can't root for the Cowboys anymore. This is the guy. So this is who I picked for Turkey.
Honestly, today, obviously my jersey says like Giants, but I feel like some people, if you're not versed in Giants or NFL jersey, you could be like, oh, she's wearing a Bills jersey. And I was like, yes, I'm on board with this.
That works.
I also picked Josh Allen for Turkey.
Let's go.
The turkey is like the core of the meal. Like that is what brings everyone here. That's why we're sitting around for Thanksgiving. Like he is the one who brings in, like he's the reasoning for all of the other Thanksgiving foods. So the turkey is the core. So gotta go with the QB and gotta go with Josh Allen because, like you said, this is kind of controversial, I guess, but because they're in New York, but I don't even count Buffalo as a part of the same state, I guess.
It's Ohio North.
But yeah, pretty much. If I was a Giants fan at this point, I think I would be a Bills, like rooting for Josh Allen, and I am actively rooting for him. And I agree. I think that he's the guy for the next while.
If I'm a GM and I'm starting from scratch, this is the guy I'm building my team around. No questions asked. Who did Derek
pick? And I hope
pick?
for the Bills fans' sake, he does get them out of their Super Bowl drought because
I'm rooting for it. I'm tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes and his dumb little brother on the sideline. It's time for a Josh Allen Super Bowl clinic.
His brother and his wife, which I think they've both been quiet this season on purpose, finally, so.
Yeah, I think they got hit with a little restraining order. Quote unquote.
So interestingly enough, Derek he said turkey, main course, that's all he says. And he chose Joe Mixon.
Who's having, not a great year for Joe Mixon and the Bengals offensive line. That's the only thing written down.
That's literally it. I think it's because, some of my picks for sure are definitely based off my fantasy teams. Like, Josh Allen is my quarterback in my family fantasy team, and he's, one of the main contributions as to why I'm having such a good season. And surprisingly, Joe Mixon is the reason for Derek. I don't know if he's having as good of a season as I am because I'm in first place, but Derek is not. I think he's in 6th place or 7th. But yeah, he chose Joe Mixon, which I thought was interesting.
If we're going Bengals, you're going Joe Burrow for the Bengals turkey, right? That's the guy. The cigar, everything. What's going on?
Yeah, I associated turkey with the quarterback immediately. But Derek's being unique here. He's picking Joe Mixon.
I think we're off to a 1-0 start. I think Derek's going to have to bring up the rear going into the stuffing here. Sorry, bro.
We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do a little video with Derek explaining his picks.
I need
in
it.
further depth after listening.
I need it badly. All right, wow.
All right, what did we do for stuffing?
Stuffing, so I'm going defense. I'm like, you got to pick somebody who's stuffing the quarterback, stuffing the run game. So who better than Aaron Donald, Rams defensive tackle? He's the best in the game. He's one of the best defensive players ever. So easy choice.
So I took a completely different approach. I did have Derrick Henry at first as stuffing because stuffing the defense, but because he just runs through them. But I switched him to somewhere else. Stuffing to me is the most overrated Thanksgiving dish. I eat it because obviously, but I'm just not a fan. I think I realized today, I think it's the texture. One of my biggest pet peeves is soggy bread. Like, I hate when you have a sub and the bread gets soggy, stuffing is literally soggy bread. But, like, obviously fancier and tastes better because you got the broth and, like, added stuff. But I'm just not. I've never been a fan of stuffing, like, my whole life. So I think it's overrated. So I have, like, a few players that could be slotted in here, but this week, for me, the most overrated player is Allen Robinson. And I've had this man on my fantasy teams for many a years, and he never performs. And I always end up with him, and I have him in our league and my family league, and that man is overrated. He's always overhyped, and no, doesn't perform.
All right, so I did some wordplay with stuffing. You just went the overrated route, which Allen Robinson is an overrated player. I'm going to get behind that because that dude, I cannot stand. Allen Robinson on a fantasy team, it won't ever happen again. I'll tell you that right now. It's not happening again.
I get stuck with him, and I have a couple other ones because I was like, which one should I slot in? But I went with Allen Robinson. Brandon Cooks, overrated. Mike Williams, overrated. And except for this week, CeeDee Lamb, overrated. And I always end up with them.
In what world is CeeDee Lamb overrated? Are you talking about when Cooper Rush was his quarterback and he had a couple bad games? I don't want to hear that. He's not overrated. He's one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. Brandon Cooks, I have a bone to pick with the Texans because the Cowboys were trying to trade for Brandon Cooks and we desperately need another wide receiver. And they couldn't agree on whether they wanted to send like a 5th or 6th round pick. And I was like, I fucking hate the Dallas Cowboys. But his quarterback is, what's his face? Who's this quarterback? I don't know.
Don't even know.
Allen Robinson is the correct pick here in this situation. So
well, that's what I went with. But I had some other examples. So just the overrated player. So yeah, it's Allen Robinson for me because stuffing, just not a fan of. And Derek went the opposite. And he said suffering, which I know is one of his favorites, brings it all together. He chose DeAndre Hopkins.
I mean, I like DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know what he's bringing together for the Cardinals. They look pretty shitty, but
yeah, I think on Houston maybe.
Yes,
trying to bring it together. But yeah,
the Cardinals have bigger issues that DeAndre Hopkins I don't think can overcome. But I do love DeAndre Hopkins. I'm looking for a little bit more explanation out of Derek for some of these.
We're gonna have to I think we should do a reel, and we can do like his choices, and he'll do a voiceover to his reasoning because, yeah. He's got some hot takes at his dinner table so far.
It seems like it.